Welcome to my tutorial about edgehooks and also wall hammers. The first thing you want to understand about edgehooks is that there are two different types of hitboxes in the game. The first type is blocks and the second type are tees. Tees have a circle hitbox and blocks have a square hitbox. If we put those over each other, so the circle represents the T right now and the square block, we can see that the T has a little bit bigger hitbox on the outlines right here than the block. That makes it possible for us to, if we are standing in a corner, I'm going to show you in game real quick. If I'm standing in a corner like this, I can hook through those two blocks at a very wide angle, like almost 90 degrees, maybe 60 or something, 70. So we can hook basically anywhere I want right now. Now, this is due to the fact that the hitbox of the T is bigger than the blocks. You can see right here, let me zoom in a little bit, that actually a big part of my hitbox is outside of where my initial body is. So it's basically on the other side of the blocks. That's why it's possible for me to hook from right here where the red dot is, rather than from here in the center of my T or something. So I can hook from here till here maybe, if the T is right here. That's one thing. Now if we want to come to edge hooks, right here, let's say the very first circle you're seeing right here is a T again, blue one. The hitbox is sticking out of those blocks again a little bit. I marked it in red. And that makes it possible for the second T down here to directly hook the hitbox sticking out. So usually he would have to hook just through this very little gap between those blocks, which is possible as well, but no one hits those. You can't do this consistently, it's impossible. The thing you do is put your T right here, the little hitbox thing sticks out, and you hook it. That's how that works. Now if the T was the second circle right here, this one right there, it would be basically impossible to hook him. I'm going to show you an example of this in-game real quick, like the first one we saw. Then the second one, as you can see, it's not that hard for me to hook my dummy here. I have a pretty wide angle of where I can hook him. Now let's say I'm hooking right here, right? So at the moment I would hit my hook. Now if the dummy wouldn't be directly in the corner, but let's say like one bit out, I'm literally 1 millimeter away from this wall. And it's not possible for the other T to hook him right there. However, if I would go into the corner, let's line it up. So it's not possible, I'm 1 millimeter away. And I go into the corner and it's possible to hook me. Same thing if I hook at the top. Right now it's possible. I go away 1 millimeter and it's not possible anymore. Now this also works if we have a dummy like this, for example, and we put him into the wall and into the edge all the time, so I can hook him and it's not even that much of a problem because he's always directly in the corner. But if he wasn't, if I timed it wrong, or I don't know, he fell a little bit, like I'm trying to hook him while he falls, it's impossible. Because he's not directly in the corner, so he won't give me that little hitbox thing to make it possible for me to hook him. Now another thing that makes it possible to hammer through walls is also the hitbox thing again. So as we learned, the hitbox of tees is bigger than of blocks, and that's why it's also possible to wall hammer somebody. Now the blue circle is the guy who is getting wall hammered right now. As you can see, his hitbox goes into the block a little bit, and that's why it's possible to hammer him here from the left, because the hammer range is about 1 block, I would say. It's about 1 block, but the hitboxes are actually big enough so that the hammer range doesn't have to be that large. So in game it would look like that again. I hammer him up and I can hammer him through this 1 tile wall if I time it correctly, because it's possible for me. Yeah, it's possible for me because of his hitbox basically. So as you just saw, I'm hammering through this block here. Yeah. And if you want to hammer somebody up, you just have to time it perfectly, so you instantly hammer when you're both aligned, basically. Like that. It's a little bit of a slower version. So if we're directly next to each other, you just hammer, and it always works. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about edge hooking. If you're having trouble hitting an edge hook on a very hard map, or on an edge hook map like the A maps or something even, it's most of the time not that your aim is too bad, that you can't hook him, because it's really not that much of a problem. Most of the time on those maps the problem is the timing, because you have like 2 milliseconds or something to rehook, and yeah, some parts are just very hard to get. So be aware that timing is also a thing, not only aiming at the edge. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.